Been a while since I made that demo man video. Wonder how it's doing.
Well, in the day, have a good time. Cool in the night, have a good time. That's what I keep on saying till I lose my mind. Feel like a bird in a sea breeze, shine like a moon in the last sky. Can you believe it till the end of your life?
Alright, so before we start the video, I just want to say thank you guys so much for the support. I genuinely never thought that Demo Man video would have gotten to 1.3 thousand views, but somehow it did. Anyway, on to the main topic. Team Fortress 2, my favorite FPS game, right up there with Ultra Kill. Sorry Gabriel, you're gonna have to wait your turn. But you may be asking why exactly now is the best time to start playing? Simply put, all the bots got banned! Pretty much all casual servers are aimbot free now, and the summer update just came along with some new cosmetics and taunts. Also, the game is free! For the low price of $0, you can play one of the greatest multiplayer games of all time. Anyway, now that that's out of the way, time to move on to the prologue. If you want to skip this part, which is about TF Classic and the bots, then you should probably go to the timestamp on screen, or just use the chapters on YouTube. So, fun fact, Team Fortified the sequel is, well, a sequel. Who could have ever seen that coming? The original game is called Team Fortress Classic, and you can actually still play it, albeit for $5 when it's not on sale. But you know Valve, because when there is a sale, that price tag drops. There are a plethora of videos explaining the history of the game, so I won't go into it too much. This game's been out since 2007. Its last major update was Jungle Inferno in... 2017? Okay, so before I get into the game, I'm just going to quickly talk about... For a long time, this amazing game's main game mode, Casual, was unplayable. There were always aimbot snipers in nearly every corner. But now, that problem's been fixed! Valve actually listened after 2 different movements to convince them. Still no major updates, but the last big one was Jungle Inferno, and it was supposed to be heavy after that. That didn't happen, and it's not gonna for a while. Anyway, with all of that exposition out the way, let's begin the actual thing you came here for.
Just listen what's called the years, the word of the guy who was hated.
Alright, so, TF2! This game is primarily a 12v12 with 9 separate classes. This chapter will go over all of them. If you want to know more about their personalities, go watch Valve's official Meet the Team cinematics. They are really well made. Anyway, let's start off with the signature Boston boy who runs, guns, and randomly mid-shots you from behind. I swear to God! Scout is infamous for being like a fly in your room. Sure, it's hard to hit him, but he has the constitution of a wet sock. Scout is the fastest character in the game, and it's really not much of a contest. He also learned how to double jump in real life. Scout's stock loadout consists of a scattergun, pistol, and a bat to bonk with. He would normally be insanely easy to kill, but he breaks ankles on the regular. Touching a good Scout is nigh impossible, and that's why I hate him. Anyway, did you know I started this script in July? You know what month July is? America! Soldier, the most American member of the team by a landslide. He is what most people think of when they think of TF2. He has his signature rocket launcher, his shotgun that barely anyone uses, and the funny shovel! Also, one of the best things about Soldier and TF2 in general is that if you press Control and Space and M1 at roughly the exact same time, you can go to space and airstrike people. That's not what I meant!
Rip and tear until it is done.
Have you ever committed arson? I have. Those poor orphans. Anyway, so has Pyro. Pyro is the resident schizophrenic and arsonist who burns down everything by holding W and M1. Yippee. They have a flamethrower, shotgun that, again, nobody uses, and an axe. And funnily enough, I don't have a transition for the next perk. But I do have these bagpipes. Demo Man is the Scottish Cyclops who blows people up while blowing up his own liver. The man's melee weapon is literally a bottle of alcohol. He has a grenade launcher that, get this, shoots grenades, a sticky launcher with mines that can be detonated, and a previously mentioned alcohol bottle. It's not a problem, you're a problem! Heavy is the heaviest mark from Mother Russia. He obliterates the tiny man flying around his face, and I swear to God, get out of here, Scout! Heavy has his trusty minigun, who he named and probably loves more than his family, a shotgun nobody uses, and his bare hands, baby, let's... The engineer is Engineer. This is one of the most complicated classes, next to the Frenchman. Don't worry, we will get to him. He can build an anti-everything machine gun turret, portable health dispensers, and the best ones. Thank you, Uncle Daniel. His stock loadout is a shotgun that people use, a pistol that people use, and a wrench to hit your creations and enemies with. Well, now it's time for the end verdict. Is the only class that provides healing as its main mechanic. You'd expect him to be the most mentally sane of the classes, like Mercy Overwatch or something, but...
The healing is not as rewarding as the hurting.
Next to Pyro, he is the most insane. Don't even get started about what he did in the comics. Medic has one of the worst stock loadouts, but his unlockables that we'll talk about later are pretty good. His stock loadout consists of a syringe gun, made him to heal with, and also become bulletproof, because of course you can, and a saw. It's just a saw. Now let's get to the class that gives me Vietnam flashbacks to the Dark Ages upon getting headshot. Sniper is the character who, gets this, snipes people. Shocking, I know. Sniper was kind of the face of the bot crisis, as 95% of bots were sniper aimbots, and it was really annoying. Kinda like playing against snipers as a relatively new player. I know I'm making a video all about this game, but I only have 200 hours in this game as of writing, which isn't as much as you'd think. Anyway, on to stock loadout. He has his sniper rifle, which deletes people from entirely across the map. Yes, Your Honor, that kill was fair, even though I was on Pluto and he was on Neptune. His SMG, which is for close range encounters and also not really used by the newer snipers. Pro tip for dealing with newer snipers, just walk up to him and shoot him with a gun. He also has melee, nothing special about it though. And an unlock weapon, which is just the jar of piss. We'll get to that in chapter 2, don't worry. Now, where did the next class go?
Just lay your whip.
Dang it! Spy, my old main, and arguably one of the weakest classes in the entire game. Also one of the hardest next to NG. Spy can go invisible, disguise as other classes, and one-shot opponents with his knife. Only when stabbing from behind, though. He has his gun, which, pro tip, you should use. His sapper for annoying engineers specifically. A knife, a watch, and a kit for disguising. I used to exclusively play Spy, which was one of the worst decisions I've made. Spy is not great for newer players. Play him all you want, but if there are already 2 on your team, maybe try the other characters. And if you don't like a stock loadout for a character, you may like their... So, you may have noticed I've been talking about these stock loadouts, and that's because there are extra unlockable weapons you can get for money, a few cents on most websites, or just by playing the game. If I were to talk about all of them, I'd be here for way too long, and this video would never get done. Now you may be thinking, but Nova, doesn't that sound pay to win? However, many people agree that stock is often some of the best items for every single class. There are some exceptions, but mostly stock can always succeed. I said I'm not talking about all the unlocks, but let me just give some examples.
The darkness is pierced by the morning sun. That light is beautiful, and I must not right valid. But soon I can't open my eyes. But eventually I get used to it. Surrounded by precious things. The heart turns into stone, hardly stop. Bedtime story.
Next up, directly hitting your eyeballs is the direct hit. This is a good example of balancing. In exchange for a deducted explosion radius, you get more speed and more damage. This combined with critting airborne targets means you're rewarded for hitting your shots directly. It makes it more precision-based and is really good when put in the right hands. Not mine, though. The Beggars takes the direct hit, throws it in the trash, then digs through that same trash for spare parts and comes out with an entirely new weapon. You can not only mash M1 and fly through the air at Mach 10, watch the video in the description for more about that, but you can load multiple rockets and fire them all at once. This is a weapon for certified Gorilla Glue consumers like me. Now that that actual seizure of a weapon is done, let's calm down and do some gambling! The Kritzkrieg is for pub stompers and people who spend half their life savings on hats and the other half at the slots. In exchange for not having a reliable defensive option to yourself and losing your immunity when you're uber charging, whoever you heal can gain guaranteed critical hits. That means all of your soldiers' rockets will be able to one-shot most of the classes of this video game whenever you have it activated. Don't be fooled, however, as not having invincibility on activation means you can't reuse it reliably if you or the person you're healing are low HP. All in all, this weapon is really strong, but when you hit the jackpot, it's amazing. Now, to move on to one of the most deranged unlocks.
That is bullshit crazy. Still my heart is blazing. If the words kill me, I don't need a new one.
The Durrani is a bottle of piss. That's it. You throw it at people and it makes them wet and take more damage. Also, Pyro Sharks can crit them, but we'll get to that when we get to part 3. Well, that's it. It's a part of a set, there might be some other cool combos, but at the end of the day, piss is piss. Let's move on to a weapon that makes others pissed. The Phlogistinator, or the Flog, is an unlockable pyro primary that is incredibly annoying. After doing enough damage, you can pop your meter. Once popped, your flamethrower will crit and you'll become invincible for a little bit. This, combined with other burn weapons like the Scorch Shot, means the pyro can walk into you and annihilate you. Overall, I don't hate it like some others do, but it's pretty annoying. No, wait, I didn't mean that, Pyro. Pyro, I didn't mean that, Pyro. Wait, please, no! Your Eternal Reward, otherwise known as the Yor, is a spy unlock I used to be very attached to. Basically, upon backstab, you can steal someone's skin and wear it for fun. Kinda like real life. It does mean you have a higher invis or cloak drain, but the trade-off is well worth it if you're a good actor. Like me, pretending that there isn't a pyro in the corner of my recording booth will definitely not burn me if I say anything bad about him, look I'm not requesting his help, and have not sent out multiple distress signals. Now, sometimes a combo of weapons or a change in playstyle change a class so much that it's considered to be a subclass. Subclasses are basically major changes to how you play a class. If you want more specifics, go to the description, watch the El Maxo video about it. That actually applies to a lot of things in this video, by the way. I've linked several sources for helping beginners in the description, like ideal settings, 70 FOV sucks, and individual weapon reviews. Anyway, let's move on to the most class of them all. Demo Knight is one of my favorite subclasses, as well as the most varied one. He is what I was playing in my 99 Devilman video. Basically, you swap sticky bombs with a shield and you're melee with a sword. You can also equip boots, but that's optional. Basically, when you right-click, you charge. If you wait long enough while charging, you can crit or mini-crit targets. You might think this is simple, but it's pretty complex. There are actually multiple items you can use, but the Eyelander is the most popular one, and for good reasons. You start with less health, but every kill you get, the more health and speed you get. Eventually, you can almost match the Scout in speed, but there is a cap, so you can't just... wanted to experience Jaws but in TF2? Well, now with one of the most boring subclasses, you can!
Oh, hi, me from the edit here. I just wanted to say that I was completely incorrect, because I recorded that footage before I actually started playing Pyro Shark, and fun fact, Pyro Shark's actually fun. Like, a lot of fun. Like, a bit too much fun. I might be psychopath.
Pyro Shark changes one item, the melee. The Neon Annihilator seems normal at first until you realize it crits white opponents, just like in real life. So, what you can do is camp in the water of certain maps, there are like 3 or 4 with that much water, until some asshole jumps in, then chase them down. It's pretty boring though. Although it makes me want to play a subclass that's a bit more exciting.
Sound like a silly cloud, but I won't turn my back on life.
Battle Engie takes many forms, all of them causing me great anxiety. If you want to know more about general Battle Engie terms, Uncle Dane has you covered. Like all the things I've mentioned, the link is in the description. Instead of making a nest and guarding your sentry, you take your sentry with you to rush down the opponent. You'll be actually using your shotgun in this one, which helps a lot with practicing aim. Also, most people use the gunslinger, which gives you small sentries that can't be upgraded, but are faster and cheaper to build, as well as 25 extra HP. Now that I've covered that, let's take a deep breath. And what the hell is that?
Drowning pain, I lost my mind. There's no good about in there. Drowning pain, I lost my mind. There's no good about in there. Vanish into dark. It is hopelessness filled by the light.
Look, I said I was only covering the major ones, and this one counts. The Fat Scout is heavy. If you took away his main item and only used the shotgun, it's just a tankier and slower scout, basically. Thus, the name. I really don't have much else to say. It's just Fat Scout. Anyway, I think I covered all the major ones, and no, I will not talk about him! So I have been yapping for an absurd amount of time and absolutely losing my mind, so I'd like to wrap things up. You'd think I covered a lot, but I barely scratched the surface of what this game has to offer. If a single thing I said has piqued your interest, check out the various resources I have in the description. Videos about subclasses, items I talked about, and general game settings. This game doesn't really have a good tutorial, but oh god, have the fans made to them. Anyway, if you got to the end of this video, I just want to sincerely thank you. I set a goal for myself to just make stuff for fun this summer, but seeing there be actually positive receptions to these things is really nice. So be sure to check the community tab for polls like the one that made this video. As always, thanks for enjoying this funny little thing that I made, and make sure to hit all the number buttons. It really, really helps out. Also, there's gonna be a blooper video, and after this one, you'll get to see how much I lost my mind.
Can you hear it? The pulses of the living. The ironic rhythm is a grand orchestra. It's never the same tone. Who wants to stop this? There can be. When the violent storm is over,